It's about time that we talk to one of the meisters of the underwater photography these days, Tobias Friedrich. Tobias and I have known each other for quite some years, and he's a great guy, and he is most certainly a very, very talented man. And I really enjoy seeing his pictures. And that's why I really am happy that he took the time to join us tonight. And let's see if he's there. Hello, Deutschland.
Hi, Denmark. I'm constantly laughing already in the background.
There you go. Hey, how are you?
Good, I'm fine, yeah. Not as fine as you with a nice tap beer, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll get you one later.
I'm still working, yeah, so it's only water.
Obviously, this is fun for me, so I can drink a beer. So what do you think of Tina's pictures?
They are great. She has a really good eye for a lot of details. This is why I do like women photography so much, especially underwater, because women tend to have another eye or another vision of the world underwater. And I'm always
stop.
Nice.
You cannot harass all the majority of my customers.
Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice inspiration as well. Yeah. So no, I do like, and I would like to see more women actually taking pictures, because it gives you another bandwidth of things underwater and to see different things in a different way.
Yeah. Do you know what? Here in the Corona time, we've seen a lot of new underwater photographers, or people getting more into underwater photography, and a lot of them are women. And I have to say, there's quite a lot of talented women out there, and a lot of interest. So I'm quite happy about that. I agree. Well, I'm from the creative kind of world with studio photography and lighting. I'm not into the biology kind of world. So so I like when it's a little bit crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're saying that women are crazy, or?
Yes, absolutely. that was
good that you said that.
That was the conclusion. So yeah, but you normally travel a lot, so
Yes.
you haven't really been able to travel that much.
Not really. Of course, I've also been stuck now in my office in Germany and doing a lot of archive work and working on the images and stuff. But yeah, it's been a tough time for everybody at the moment, I think. And I'm just traveling as much as I have to, but I'm also feeling that I have to restrict myself a little bit while traveling and not go everywhere, also to avoid to get corona. Yeah? So I think for a diver, it can be the worst if you get this coronavirus, and it can be very risky for your diving future. And obviously, I'm doing this as a professional, and that's my main job, or my only job I have. So I have to be a little bit careful about this, obviously.
You can always come and work for me if you get corona.
Thank you so much, Lars.
Do some packing.
Yeah, and set up the tone. Then your audio, so that doesn't fail anymore.
Exactly. Actually, the weight is poor, but the beer is good.
Yeah, the Scandinavian beers are actually super good. Yeah, really. Yeah, I have to say that, better than the German beers.
I'm not exactly sure I agree, but we can talk that over somewhere else at some other event.
We should give that a test, actually.
I'm sure we should. So basically, you travel a lot, you take a lot of pictures, and as you just said before, you have a lot of archive work. So you have a huge stockpile of pictures, and you're obviously doing a lot of editing. How do you store your pictures? I mean, do you have like external hard drives, or do you have like one big server? Oh, you're smiling. I feel you're not giving me the answer that I'm hoping for now.
Yeah, I do. No, I'm just no. It's nothing to laugh, actually. But I have a big RAID system, of course, with different hard drives where my photos are, of course, double or triple or 4 times saved, at least the most important ones. This is what I can recommend to everybody. Also, it's really cheap to put your the most important images you have as high quality, or most high quality you have on cloud services, and so on and so on. Just have as many backups, at least of your favorite pictures, as possible, I would recommend.
Okay, that's a good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, doing all that editing, you get it all done when you're away, or do you often come home from a trip where you've been away on a workshop and you just need to do like 15,000 pictures of editing or ranking, or do you have a system how you handle it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody has his own system, but for me, it really works very well when I'm editing my pictures or I see through my images after every day. So usually after the last dive, I download all my images. Maybe not every day if I already know that there's not too much or I'm not too interested. Yeah, but it can also happen that after the first dive, I directly download the images because I know that I have something nice and I want to save it before the next dive for sure on a hard drive. And I'm definitely looking through my images, let's say every day in the evening, and I'm already sorting out the best ones. And I'm already editing them a little bit in Adobe Lightroom. This is what I think 80% of all people are using. This is the software, I have to say. I'm not working for Adobe or any other manufacturer company, but they are really developing really good and nice tools to edit your images. And then I'm just already selecting maybe the best 5 or 10 images. I'm working quickly in Lightroom to see what I can have, and this is already important for the next dive, for example. So if you have the chance to do another dive on the next day, maybe on the same dive site, then you can make it even better, the image. And this is what I'm also telling to my students on my workshops, is to make and this is what Tina also did already, got very, very nicely as the like idea of underwater photography, is to sit down and take one picture every dive, yeah, not more, yeah. Just you can have, like, if it's then at the end 3 images, then it's nice, but I'm always telling one image per dive is enough, and then at the end of the trip you have maybe 15, 20 nice pictures, and that should it be, yeah? Nothing more, nothing less, like underwater images, and that is enough to have a good portfolio in my eyes. And this is how I work, and I quickly go through Lightroom every day to see what the best images are, and of course afterwards, after the trip, I'm selecting then the best 15, 20 images. And then when I'm at home, I can really, I mean, let's say I'm working like to 80% editing of the images already to see what I can get out. And then at home on a big screen in my office, I can then really work on the images and go into details, yeah, remove backscatter if there is some, and so on and so on.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So it's really an ongoing process when you're working. So, but you still have a lot of archiving to do here in the Corona time. So obviously, it's not working all the time.
I do have a lot of images, really, of which I didn't have the chance to work out yet. It's getting a bit better now in that times when I'm at home. But I can't work 24/7 on editing. Yeah, then I also get a little bit mad. Yeah, so yeah, from time to time, every day a few pictures, and then it comes together.
Last week we had a live session. It was a Danish live session on a small Danish Facebook group that I have. With a guy that has a lot of pictures in databases that he, with Ritzau. So his images, once he's done them, he uploads them and they sell the pictures for him. Mm-hmm. So he has many thousand pictures in these archives, selling when he's asleep, you can say. And obviously, when you do that, one of the things he said is that you really have to do proper ranking, not ranking, but meta tagging. You need to write a lot of text to these pictures so that you can find them again. So, how do you handle that? Do you also do that?
Yes, yeah. So this is part of a big time during the edit, is to write the good metadata into every image. I know that's a little bit of effort, but if you do it straight away, like let's say after a trip, when you anyway edit your images, I straight do the metadata for the image. Otherwise, I will never do it. So this is really important to tag your pictures in the metadata, like where it is, which dive site, maybe which country, which ocean, what is on the picture, which animal is on the picture. Is it maybe a blue background, black background? What Latin name does the animal or subject have, maybe? And so on and so on. The more information you can put into the image, what's on there, what you can see, the better it is to search for it. Yeah. For example, I have one Lightroom library where I just have my top images from every trip, and there I can just find finished edited as well as a TIFF. So that means as big as possible, and then I can just look in the Lightroom library and search, for example, for Blackwater or for orcas or whatever, and I get all of the images straight away. I can look for it. You don't need that if you don't have a big archive, I would say. But the bigger the archive is, the better it is to have a good metadata. And the earlier you start for this, also the better, on the less work you will have in the future.
Yeah, interesting. So obviously we need to talk about a little bit about the editing, because you have become quite good at it. Oh, by the way, when it comes to picture database and making money off your pictures, behind you is a nice picture. And for those who use Adobe Lightroom, you might recognize that picture. It used to be the picture that came out when you opened Adobe Lightroom. So obviously you sold it to them, or you sold the rights to them, or you sold a limited use to them.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you do it?
They asked me.
No, but I mean, what did you get, like a pile of contracts, or when it's Adobe, do they have like a legal department that handles it, or was it really?
Yeah, it was an editor of Adobe. She contacted me and was asking for the image. I didn't know that it was for Adobe Lightroom. They just said in-app use. So if I would have known that it's the startup picture for Adobe Lightroom Classic, then I would maybe would have bargained a little bit more to get a better price. But no, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm happy, and it's a big honor, of course, that it was on the start screen of Lightroom. And it was a bit weird for me to open it up as well and to see my own picture there. And for a program what you use, or an application what you use mostly every day, and it feels like it's been customized, but it's real. So it was a bit weird.
So there's a picture here. There's a question here.
Yes.
From a Facebook user who hasn't registered. Do you make Lightroom workshops, Lightroom courses online?
Not really. I don't offer this, but during my workshops, I definitely do also talk about Lightroom a lot. And there you get everything, because I'm always a fan. Like also you offered in the beginning of the talk, like a liveaboard, like a workshop on a liveaboard in Egypt. And I think this is one of the best cases where you can learn everything, because you're dedicated, you're on a liveaboard, you don't waste time like running through a resort or whatever. The ways are very short, and you can always contact other photographers as well, not only the workshop leader. There's so much information for you in that week. This is what I really do recommend. But I do have on my YouTube channel, I have some editing videos actually where I edit an image, also with the Lightroom presets, where we're talking about in a few seconds, I guess, and also like a normal editing of one underwater image. So you can check them out for the start. And if there's enough requests, of course, I can also, especially during these times, offer a dedicated Lightroom workshop. So that's no problem.
Okay. You made some presets to Lightroom.
Exactly.
That you decided to sell. And it's actually possible to buy them. On your website and on my website, and and when I first heard this, I thought, well, I'm good enough with Lightroom. I don't need your presets. Why did you make them? I mean, what inspired you to do that? Was it really your own presets for yourself, or did you just decide to do it? Tell me.
No, because I think a lot of people are asking me, especially about editing in Lightroom. So I thought it would be a really, really good help for all the people out there who are either maybe not too familiar with Lightroom and don't know what the sliders all mean, or especially if you're on a trip, you just want to work quickly through your images. That means the presets are definitely not only for beginners, but also for more advanced users who just want to save time editing your images. And for everybody who doesn't know these presets, these are for Adobe Lightroom only, I have to say. And you need to have Adobe Lightroom Classic to install them, but then you can also use them on your, for example, Adobe Lightroom mobile app, on your tablet or whatever. So you just need to bring a tablet to your holiday and you can work through with these presets through your images very quickly, very easily. Then afterwards you can share a slideshow to the other divers, to the fellow divers very quickly, and the images are already edited. This is very nice. And you can also, if you install them in Lightroom Classic, also use them in the RAW converter of Photoshop if you don't want to use Lightroom for editing of your images. So you can, there are multiple ways, but you have to have Adobe Lightroom for this. And then they are basically a preset is like a preset, yeah. So I'm doing all the sliders, what I think is good to work on an image, and then I'm saving these and I'm putting them into the preset. This is a very simple description of it, but it goes much more into it because I developed the presets not as an one look preset, but on the modular base. So you can go step by step through your image because I found that, or let's say most of the presets what you can buy are for landscape photographers. So if you Google for Lightroom presets, you can find a lot of people who are offering presets and specific looks for landscaping. And this is just one look, one setting, and then you have to take it or leave it. And okay. I found that it's underwater, it doesn't work like this. So the images are so different, the light conditions are so different that you want to work individually on every image. So it's a little bit more effort than just one click. But if you go step by step through the modules, then you, at the end, you will get an image which is really nice. And I would say 80% edited, and the last 20% you can adjust still yourself. So you always have full control of your image and your sliders. And I found this is a very nice way of quickly editing your images.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a bit talking.
Have a sip of water.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Tobias, let's see that in action, okay?
Yes.
Because you have prepared something for us. So
yeah,
let's see here.
Okay, cool. So I'm looking to my left screen now. So everybody's wondering why I'm looking left now. This is Adobe Lightroom. This is the library. As you know, there are a couple of pictures here in the library. I have already made some pre-photos for the different presets as well. I have at the moment 4 different DSLR or compact camera presets, which are wide angle, macro, green waters, or black and white. I do also work for sea life cameras, and for those cameras, I also have specific presets for their cameras, because all these cameras have different light conditions and different settings. So I just put the best out of it. But anyways, we want to now to look. This is obviously a wide angle image, so I want to install the wide angle presets now. It's still a raw image. You can see it. Oh no, you can't really see it, but it's still the CR2 from my Canon camera, and you can see it's very flat. It's not the best image, but I think it can definitely get much better than this if you work a little bit in Lightroom and very quickly. And I want to show you how easy it is to import the presets. So you need to be in the develop module of Lightroom. You need to have an image open, which is also there and not somewhere linked or not. There's sometimes file not found if you don't link the picture or if you move it to another location on your hard drive. But if you have that, then you can just click here on the preset tab. There's a little, you can always extend this, these things here and there. You can put these little triangles here. And then there's this little plus sign, and you can import the presets and select them. I already pre-selected them here, of course. And you select all of these for wide angle now. And then it will automatically import a new group of presets here, which you can also extend. And don't worry, this is all, if you are considering to buy those, it's a digital download, and you will get an installation manual and then how to use manual as well with the presets. So you don't need to remember all this, but it just gives you how easy it is. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to install the presets. So, as I said, it's modular based. So after the numbers, we have different modules here on the left side. Yeah, it's module 1, module 2, module 3, and so on. And the first module is about the exposure. So if you think that your picture is correctly, I mean, this is quite okay exposed. I would say it doesn't need like these little numbers are always the aperture. So 1 full aperture less does need it. It would be too dark, but maybe 0.25 less, yeah, because the sky was a bit dark. So I'm choosing this. As you can see, I selected it. But if you hover with your mouse over the setting, you already can see a preview in Lightroom. Yeah, so what's happening. So you don't need to press it or to click it if you're not certain. But anyways, you can always go back and delete those changes. For example, reset all setting means that it resets your picture to the original, to raw. That means no changes are made. And if we go to the next module, which set up the light balance, you will find a white balance off setting as well. That means if you change here, for example, the white balance to Ice Age, which doesn't fit the image because it's very, very blue, but for some other images, it would maybe fit. That's why I put it here. If you say, now that was not the right thing, you just click on another one, for example, on the Sahara. But if you say, no, I don't like any of these, you just put on off, and then you're back to the original setting, which won't change anything on the previous settings, like the exposure, for example. Yeah, so every module itself is also, or can be reset without destroying the other settings. Just the reset all settings will get you back to the original image. So maybe we want to have this image a little bit warmer or a little bit cooler. I don't know yet. Maybe I just take it for a little bit warmer now, which is nice. And I go to the next module, which is for the wide angle images, the most important module, I would say. So this gives a lot of things into it, the underwater wide angle module. Which I think is important for underwater images. So a lot of my experience for editing images underwater is going into this module. It doesn't only change things like contrast or shadows or whites or blacks, but also a lot of settings like the chromatic aberrations are clicked already, and so on, which I usually do on all my pictures. So it's very simple to just click here on, for example, contrast +2, and it already gives you a much better contrast than before. You can see the difference if I go just with my mouse over reset all settings, that the image is just much better already. And maybe now I think, this image is a bit too dark already, so I can always go back and say, I want to have it a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit more light in it, and I go for neutral again. Yeah, remember we had minus 0.25 before, and now I go a little bit more. So you can always balance it and go back in the settings. Actually, like if you would really develop your image in Lightroom like you would normally do, then you also always go back in the settings and retouch maybe the exposure a couple of times while changing other things, and so on and so on. Yeah, so this is also the same for the presets. And additionally, if you want to play a little bit around with colors, I also do have 3 different options for like more pastel colors. That means more not so saturated, more desaturated colors. It can work. It doesn't need to work for every image, but you can play around and experiment a little bit. This gives, for example, this dramatic ambience, gives a lot of saturation, a lot of contrast to really stand out, to really pop out your images. And the good thing, and I want to emphasize this for all the viewers now and everybody who's working with the presets or in Lightroom, you can find your own way how to work on your images like you want. I'm not telling you how to work. You can find your own way of looking at your images, and this is important in my eyes. So if you like the dramatic ambience a lot, then there's no reason to not take it, because maybe your neighbor doesn't like it, yeah, or I doesn't like it. That doesn't mean it's not good for you. The most important thing is that you like your images. And to find your own way of editing, and this you can perfectly do with the presets and in Lightroom, and so on. Yeah. Then the next module will be the saturation. If you say, okay, that's a bit too saturated, maybe for me, I want to have a little bit less saturation, then you can also easily go for it. Or if you want to saturate it actually a little bit more, we just click on high now to give you the experience, then you can also do it. Yeah, so a little bit here, a little bit there is really, really nice to play around. And the next module is super important as well, because sometimes underwater and this happens to me as well, of course, yeah, I missed to have the exact amount of blue in the background. And I don't want to go too much in detail into the settings of your camera, but with the time you can control the background and the blue of your ambient light in the backgrounds. That means the color and the darkness or the light of the blue. And if you fail to do this, maybe a little bit, maybe it's a little bit too dark, maybe a little bit too bright, maybe also much more too bright or too dark, then you can change that with the module number 5, and it will only change the background blue, as you can see here. So I'm going through and I'm just hovering my mouse over the background. You can see how the background of the blue changes, and maybe you want to have it a little bit lighter than in the first image. So like this would be very nice in my eyes. So it's very easy and very quick change of the background blue of your image. Of course, this doesn't work in green waters. That's why I have the green water presets as well. Yeah, so it's a different tone, it's a different color, of course. And at the end, and almost all my presets do have the module of noise reduction. That means if you're, for example, photographed in a very high ISO speed and you have a lot of noise in your image, then you can reduce that very easily here. I usually put it on normal or on low if the ISO speed wasn't too high. And the last module is the sharpening. That means it gives your image a nice sharpening effect, a little bit more sharpened, and you can also select the intensity here, like low, normal, or high. Or if you don't want to sharpen it at all, you can always put it on off, of course. But I usually do at least low to give it a little bit more sharpness. So you can see that we did. If I wouldn't have talked so much now, I could have edited this image maybe in 30 seconds. Yeah, and once you are used to it a little bit, then you can very, very quickly go through your images and also go back and you say, now, okay, this image is a bit too warm, maybe. Yeah, I can always go back and say, okay, no, I want to have it maybe a little bit cooler, and you can quickly change it back to cool. Yeah, and you can see here, if you hover, that's a really nice effect. This is like after edit. This is before edit, after edit, before edit. So it's a very, very nice contrast, a very nice, it's much better with a very few clicks of the image.
Yeah. So you mentioned you could also do that on the iPad.
Yes, yeah. So it will automatically, if you have the mobile app of Lightroom installed as well on your tablet, and if you're linked into your accounts, then this will automatically go into Lightroom Mobile.
Do you add when you take your card out of the camera and you have your iPad? Do you then download the thumbnails? Do you have the files externally on a hard drive, or how do you do it?
You mean for the iPad or for the tablet? Yeah. You can either do it via cloud, via Adobe Cloud, but you don't have to do this. You can just, for example, most of the cameras can transmit via Bluetooth or something directly to the iPad. Yeah? So you can store it on your iPad and already see it there and work on the original image. So you don't need to take your laptop or your big computer to the trip. You can just have your iPad Pro with you and put all the images there on the iPad for that trip. Of course, just the best ones, maybe not all of them, yeah, but just the best ones. And then you can easily work there with Lightroom Mobile.
Cool. Yeah. Wow. I think I have only added the wide angle setting on my site for sale. We should do something. Is the black and white and the green water, are they out?
Yeah, they're out and they're new. So
I remember you mentioned you worked on them, but they were finished fairly short while ago.
Yeah, not too long, I would say. Yeah, but a little bit. Yeah, but this is no problem. Yeah, so anybody wants to buy them via or through your shop, then I can provide you with those as well. But they're also available on my shop, of course, on my website, which I hope Chris will post or has posted already. I didn't follow the yes, he posted it. Yeah, so there's everything as well, but you can also buy it directly at Lars, and then all complaints also to Lars. Yeah,
that's what I was afraid of. Why do you think we have this session?
Yeah,
people complain to.
No, I'm afraid the complaints will also go back to me. Yeah. But I have to say that I'm selling those presets now since about 1 year, I would say, and I didn't had one complaint about the preset yet. So I think this is also good. Maybe somebody was. I only had 2 customers who said they don't need them because I expected something else or didn't know that they needed Adobe Lightroom for the Adobe Lightroom preset. And it's like a bit miscommunication. Then I put it everywhere in my shop as well that you do need Adobe Lightroom. But these were the only 2 actually complaints. Yeah. So, and can you go quickly back to my shared screen? I just want to show one more for the black and white, please. Exactly. Yeah. So these are the black and white presets, and as you can see, they are a little bit different. Just to give you a feel for it, and it comes directly to a look, to a black and white look. Yeah, so it means that I can also reset here all settings and then go back to a look, and I can select different looks for different outcomes of the image. So you can afterwards select whatever you want and what you need, for example. Yeah, so there's a more contrasty look, a more flat look, and you can see here. You can also, if you say that's a bit bright, you can also always go back a little bit. Yeah, in the exposure and adjust the picture as you want it. Yeah, so this is wanted actually. Yeah, so I'm providing a lot of tools here, but the last bit you need to do yourself. Usually not needed, yeah, but on some pictures, like in this case, for example, it was needed. And then you have different looks actually, and also different tonings, which I really like of the images. Yeah, so you can tone your black and white image like in sepia or in more blue, whatever you like.
Well, first of all, I have to say that I was a bit skeptic in the beginning, and I'm sure a lot of people are, but I have tried them now, and I do find it's first of all, it's very nicely done what you've done, and I think it's smart. I think it really is a great shortcut. And the final thing you said, which is you can do your own final adjustments. Well, that's the whole idea, right? That you sort of find very fast an area where you want to be, and then you can do corrections from there.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is what I wanted, and I know that a lot of people are a bit skeptical about presets and why they are so expensive and why they are being sold and whatever. But all my experience from underwater, from editing underwater images, is in those presets, and they are also a nice like introduction for you. If you're not sure what you can do else and how you're working on your images, you can try out the presets and see from there what you like and what you not like, and select by yourself. And this is really wanted, that you also think about yourself, think about the images, how you want to have them, and how your images should look like. And this is why I have them as an inspiration for you, of course, and to quickly edit them. But the good thing is, and I want to emphasize this as well, that you can correct it as you want if needed. Yeah, but maybe they are also good just with the presets. Yeah.
There's no backscatter reduction in them.
No, this you can't do in Lightroom. This is pure work.
You said that. You said reducing backscatter. You always do this in Photoshop.
Usually, yeah. There are a few filters also in Lightroom, but I can't really recommend them because they will always deal with the quality of your image. So they will always be reducing the detail in your image. And this you can do maybe on monochrome backgrounds like blue water, if you just have blue water. But still there, once you got waves in it, already the waves will go away. So the only thing is to avoid backscatter as much as you can while photographing. And then what I do, and what is the best image quality afterwards, is just go into Photoshop, go on 100% image view, and stamp the peep out of it.
Yeah, there is the dust and scratch filter that can do a little bit for you, but
this is always getting a little bit dizzy than the background or the place where you have it. It can reduce it a little bit if you get really a lot of backscatter in your image and you just can't deal with just stamping. Then I would say, okay, you can use one of these filters. Also, the texture filter is very good, and the noise filter in Lightroom. Here, texture and also in the noise. This is very good for reducing images, but you can already see that if you go into detail, then that it will get super soft. This is normal, and this is the filter, and this will happen to everything, which is the filter on. Yeah, so also
I think this guy might have a point with, if you do the kind of macro in the murky water that we have, there is not a lot of background.
Yeah.
So often you, I mean,
it works on monochrome backgrounds like black, blue, whatever, where there's no texture at all in it. Then it does work, but not on all the subjects or things which are interesting. Maybe it will, even not here, I would say. Yeah, I do have a little bit of backscatter here as well in the image. It works maybe here in this part because it's just blue, but already here I would lose the detail of the fishes here in the background. And I would also say that you can never avoid backscatter completely. You always have some little bit of backscatter in your images because there's just some stuff in the water. Yeah, so which is on the same layer than the thing the subject what you want to photograph.
Cool. You know what? I see that the time is 2 minutes past 9, and I know that you told me there was football at 9 o'clock.
Yes, but it's all right. Yeah, there's if there would be a German team still playing, then I would be a little bit nervous. But for you, I will take the time.
Yeah, and of course, and I'm not worried because it was actually you who did all the talking for the last 20 minutes. Normally, it's me.
Sorry. Yeah. I wanted you to keep on drinking beer. Yeah,
which I have.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, listen, I think people got a good view on the presets, and I have to say I was surprised by finally started working with them, what they can do, and they are really a good help, and they are fun to use. And I think the way that you combine it with the iPad is fun, but also if you just use them on a laptop, it's easy. And I was one of the skeptical ones who thought, no, I'm going to do my own adjustments. And I will still be doing my own adjustments. So I guess the point is that it's a nice system. So I can recommend to play around with them. Yeah. And I will get the last 2 filters up on my website as soon as possible as well. I promise you.
You have them already. So
the last ones.
But I have downloaded already.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Tobias. I think we covered a lot of the questions, and I really appreciate that you took the time to have this fun with us here in the live event. And I'm not sure if people knew this, but we actually invited you for an event earlier, a year ago. Was it around Corona time?
Could be, yeah.
And I wanted to do like a summer event with a lot of stuff here, but Corona simply, caught us.
Yes.
So why don't we make an agreement that when the world is back to normal, we will see if we can do an event, and in between we should see if there's some other stuff that we can talk about one night that people would like to hear about.
Yes, sure. Yeah, I would love to do this. Yeah, and love to test one of your tap beers, definitely. That's basically the only reason why I'm coming.
What kind of filter would you use for this?
No filter, yeah, just drink it.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I quite agree. Cool. Yeah. Excellent.
There was one question I can see regarding the presets, if I can answer this. Will it work in Lightroom 6? Yes, it does. It will work from Lightroom 4 onwards, from 4 to 6. It has a different ending, but I included those presets as well. And from 7.3, you can use the XMP files, but it's all written in the installation guide. So don't worry about this. But it's working from Lightroom 4. You're welcome, Klaus.
Excellent. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, when the borders open, maybe you should get your dry suit, go up north to Little Belt, and we'll meet there and we'll do some macro and we'll make some proper backscatter and we can see if your filters can deal with them.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Yeah, excellent. So that's good. Listen, Tobias, thanks a lot for your time and I appreciate it. So you deserve to go and see some football and grab a beer. So make sure the beer's on me.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Thanks
soon,
so much,
okay?
Lars, for having me and talk to you soon. Yeah, have a nice evening.
Absolutely. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okie dokie. That was Tobias. And that was the end of the Live with Lars. And that's it for this time before summer. As I mentioned in the beginning, we will be picking this up again at the autumn, find some new interesting guests and some more the next step people who's done some interesting stuff over the very short period of their beginning times with the camera. And we'll see if we can find some other interesting subjects that we can tell you about. Meanwhile, I'd like you all to have a great summer and try to get in the water locally where you live and get that dry suit on and get in the water. And hopefully I'll see you online again soon. And if you have any questions about equipment, you know where to find us, okay? So for now, cheers and have fun out there.